Hi, Bill Pattison, The Art of Illusion. Even though we're not doing plein air painting, I have my outside painting hat on today. I paint in the basement in my studio, and it's January here in Indiana, so it's a little cool. So, anyways, we're doing a series of lights and darks, values in our paintings. And if you've seen some of the other videos, you've seen the black and white to a few of the warmer colors. We'd done a painting last summer. It was a four-season painting in class, so it kind of encompassed all the things we're talking about. As you can see, some of the cools over into the winter, into the summer. So when you're looking at, again, outside, and we will be doing some outside classes, plein air painting, and which is a whole different beast if you've painted outdoors. And so in this case, we can kind of talk about the painting with our lights and darks. And this is the third time I've ever done a four-season painting. The first one I did back in the 80s, and we did one maybe in the 90s. So I tell my classes about it, and we talk about it for a long time. And because we've worked on a 12 by 24, it's elongated format, more than what we're used to, maybe a 12 by 16 or a 16 by 20. So I had my students actually 6 minute or inches increments. We drew four individual boxes across here. And I told them at the beginning, one of the hardest parts in this piece, besides handling everything, would do that soft continuum from one value to the next, one season to the next. In fact, the first time, as I said, in the 80s when we had shown one, we had a show and I had about 500 paintings, and the lady came up to the booth, my wife was running the booth, and there were 4 people standing in line. The one lady who was buying it, the other 3 said if she didn't want it, I would want it. If she didn't want it, she would buy it. So my wife said, why do you paint a lot of those? Well, I never paint the same painting over it. Anyways, I said at the beginning to all of them, this would be one of the hardest things that they did. Well, I didn't believe that because of everything else that we had put into it till it was done. In fact, one of the ladies who'd been with me for almost 10 years said it's probably the hardest painting she'd ever done in her classes. And so anyways, I've set it up. We talk about spring, and of course in springtime you think of flowers, which is what we looked at, so, plus a blossom, which is great because on our value chart, we don't have our chart up here, a lot of ones, which I don't get to play, a lot of ones in our painting. And that soft continuum over to our summer scene. And I split the bridge between spring and fall, or fall and summer fall, so it was split in the middle. Some nice little powder puff clouds back there, some 1s and 2s. And for the autumn scene, I chose a little bit down color, so it wasn't optical weekend peak season, and did some warm grays or warm browns, maybe a little mini reds. And then our winter, I didn't do the blues that so many times are pure whites that we think, and how ironic that is. And snow, where your brain would normally say it's the white is actually over here into the blossom and a couple of clouds. But again, it works very well. And I went up to the gallery and brought this out, and I thought this is kind of, again, perfect way to synopsis where we've been working from. So any of these values, which again, the darkest dark, because we're saying in here we've probably got some 9. Nothing really 10 again, some really darks up here because it's, as you know, in the fall, sap dissipates out of the trees and the bark looks really dark. I think it's a neat painting as far as lights and darks, nailing around, broke it up a little. So we showcase a lot of our paintings on our website. If you go to our paintings, and of course I have my prints on there. So, and as I always said, look at a lot of artwork. I'm sure you do, and subscribe to Artist Magazine, International Artist, U.S. Art. So many wonderful magazines. And think it, we get to see things on the internet. We can do watching me here on videos. In the old days, we couldn't do those. So take advantage of those as I do. So anyway, I just thought this might be nice to show what we're been working with from lights and darks, and maybe showcase some more of the paintings on there. So till we meet again, keep painting.